Welcome to Pretty Girl University. Class is starting. Hey, Pretty Girl Club. So, today I want to talk more about social climbing. So, when I use the term social climbing, I'm talking about living the social life of your dreams. What do you want your social life to look like? What kind of friends do you want to have? Do you want a friend group? Do you want one best friend? Do you want some sort of boyfriend or something? Do you want a roster? Do you want to casually date? Do you want a sugar daddy? Do you want a network of people at your job that you can turn to? When I use the term social climbing, what I mean is meeting your goals in society. So this could mean your social circle, this could mean socioeconomic status, and it also could mean your personal social status. Do you want to be an entrepreneur? Do you want to go from being an employee to owning your own company one day? That's the type of stuff that I'm talking about when I say social climbing. Social climbing is important because it can help you when it comes to having a fluid identity. So, knowing how to navigate in different social spaces. So, knowing how to carry yourself in a professional environment and also in a relaxed environment. You know, those people who you can't take anywhere? You know, those ghetto ass people where it's like, oh my God, I can't be around them in public. They're going to start throwing drinks. They're going to get into a fight. That is the exact opposite of what we're trying to do here. So, I want you guys to be able to navigate in whatever spaces you want, whether you are at the park or at a black tie event. I want you to feel comfortable and not feel an inferiority complex because I know for me, when I was really young, when I didn't really know about social climbing yet, certain scenarios used to make me feel kind of nervous and anxious. Like when I was a teenager, if I was around all of these super, super rich people, like multimillionaires or people that were like super educated, I used to feel more nervous when I was super young. And that's because I didn't understand how to navigate in different social settings. But one piece of advice that one of the Exoticals gave in my Discord is she talked about reading like the Financial Times and Forbes and stuff like that. And that's actually a great tip because back when I really wanted to work in journalism and stuff, I made it my goal to stay up on like news and politics and to know what's going on and to understand current events and to know like who is the president, for God's sakes? Who's the president? Who's the vice president? Like, who is Speaker of the House? Just knowing information like that, it's going to help you to sound more classy and educated if you go into spaces where that kind of stuff matters. You have to read and study for the types of rooms that you want to be in. So, like for me, I knew that I wanted to be a content creator. So that's why I invested in a course that taught me like how to create content, not just how to create content, but really how to build an entire brand and build a career off of content creation and all of the different streams of income you can gain from content creation. This is not my first time doing YouTube. I studied and I read up and I actually went to professional events. Like I actually a few years ago, I used to go to professional in-person events where you network with, well, I'll just tell you, I went to like one of Sean Cannell's events. So for those of you who are like into the YouTube, like the guys who actually work for YouTube or the people who teach you how to like do stuff for YouTube or how to like grow your channel and all that. So I was educating myself and giving myself knowledge when it came to the field that I wanted to be in. So for you, maybe it's something else. Do you want to be a makeup artist? Okay, so do you know how to do contouring makeup? Do you know how to do bridal makeup? Do you know how to do Korean style makeup, Chinese style makeup, Japanese style makeup? What types of makeup do you know how to do? Because one thing that I've learned when it comes to social climbing is that I have had to diversify my knowledge because it really helps me to have a competitive edge, especially if I'm trying to make money. So, like on YouTube, my competitive edge is that I'm knowledgeable about social media, about marketing, about communications, about sociology and psychology. And I've tried to merge all of that diversified knowledge into every single video that I make on here. So, that's a form of social climbing. You're collecting information from all these different sources and you're diversifying your knowledge and then you're utilizing that knowledge so that you can climb into higher circles. So, whatever that means for you, this could mean maybe you want to be a makeup artist. If you want to be a makeup artist, can you rent out one of those studios? You know how you can like be a hairstylist and you rent out a studio where it's just like one room with a chair? Can you do that for like makeup artistry? Or can you get some models? So maybe your sister or a cousin, and like you do her makeup for her birthday or something. And then maybe you post it on Instagram. Maybe you want to do some sort of clothing store and you want to sell like jackets and shirts and stuff like that. So can you start an Etsy shop? Do you know where to go to like source the t-shirts and stuff? Or like, I don't know, do you have a vendor that you can go to? And if not, maybe you can start watching YouTube videos on how to create your own clothing business, how to like sign up and get the vendors and stuff and like turn a profit off of the stuff that you sell. Another way that I like to social climb is I only like to be seen in classy spaces. I said what I said. I don't care if I sound bougie. I don't want to be in a ghetto ass space. I don't want to work out in a ghetto ass gym. I don't want to go running at a ghetto ass park. I don't want to live in a ghetto ass neighborhood. I don't want to have a janky ass apartment. Everywhere I go and every aspect of my life, I want it to be as bougie as possible. So even down to like the types of coffees that I drink. If I'm going to a coffee shop, no, I'm not going to go to McDonald's to get myself a latte. McDonald's does not specialize in lattes. A part of my lifestyle that I want to live socially is I want to be that girl that can go get a cappuccino from a specialty coffee shop in a nice neighborhood. That's just how I am. And so, if you are like me and you are a fellow bougie exotical, then maybe that will help you on your social climbing journey. It's getting used to being in nice spaces. So, for example, can you start running your errands in the nice part of town? So, instead of only going to the raggedy ass Walmart in the hood, can you go to a Whole Foods in a nicer zip code? Can you start, getting used to going to the grocery store in a nicer part of town? Because that's also going to subconsciously train your brain and say, "Hey, I belong here." Because you can always tell who has never been in a nice area or like who's never been to a nice hotel or a nice restaurant. You can always tell because they feel out of place. They don't know what they're doing. They're like tripping over themselves or they're like fangirling and stuff because they're just not used to being in a nice space. And that's because their brain is kind of like in shock. It's almost like a form of culture shock to where it's like you're not used to being in such a classy space. And so for me, one of the ways that I have utilized, like social climbing is to just get used to being in these nice spaces. So if I want to book like a Brazilian wax, I will look up Brazilian waxes downtown or like, somewhere in a nice area. I'm not going to go get a Brazilian wax in a raggedy ass room in the back of someone's house. No, I'm not doing that. I'm going to go somewhere where they have drinks at the front, where it's like, you've got the cucumber water. I can sit down on the nice little soft couch in the waiting area. And then, somebody brings me a snack or something while I'm waiting. That's the type of social life I want to have. Those are the types of social interactions I want to have. For some of you guys, let's say you want to get your lashes done. Would you rather get your lashes done at a raggedy, nasty ass place, or would you rather get them done at a nice place? I don't know who I'm telling. I'm literally about to get my lashes done at Walmart, so so I totally failed. Well, no. Okay, so I didn't get them done at Walmart, but when I was at a Walmart, it was a huge Walmart and I don't normally go to this part of like where I live. It was basically far out. So it wasn't in the city, so I went to this random Walmart and it was so huge and it was connected to like it almost looked like this mall type of thing. And basically there was this lash place and I was like, "Oh my God, a lash place that's basically in a Walmart? Like what is this?" And so they gave me a coupon and I was like, "Oh, this is kind of cool." Sorry, this is a random story. So I'm still debating on whether I want to go there because I kind of want to try it because it just sounds cool. But do not do what I am doing, okay? If you're gonna get something done at a Walmart, you are doing it at your own risk. But as far as social climbing goes, I do want to stay in nicer spaces. But speaking of lashes, I got my lashes done at Amazing Lash Studio. I think that's what it's called. It was trash. It was so overpriced, and literally the lashes fell out within like 2 days, and I got so pissed. But part of it is because I work out a lot. So I do a lot of, hiking and running and sweating and stuff. So I think that's a part of it. And I also have allergies, so my eyes itch. So I do rub them sometimes in my sleep. So I don't know if that's what made them fall out, but Anyway, part of social climbing though is making sure to just stay in nice spaces so that way when you go to that space again, or like let's say a guy takes you to a five-star restaurant, it's not your first time being at a five-star restaurant. You're used to going to five-star restaurants. You belong in a five-star restaurant. That's the way that I like to see it. And it's funny because one of the places that I like to go to, so for some of you guys, maybe you like going to operas or to musicals or to like the ballet or something like that. You can always tell who's never been there before. I'm sorry, but you kind of can, especially when it comes to like their attire and stuff like that. That's something else that has helped me on my social climbing journey, especially when it comes to fashion. It is just doing a quick Pinterest search or a quick Google search, like outfits to wear to an opera, or like what to wear, I don't know, date night outfit, or like wherever you're going. So, what to wear to a certain place. Um, Knowing that type of information has really helped me to social climb because number one, I feel more comfortable. Number two, if I'm with my friends and stuff, they have always complimented me like, "Oh my gosh, you're wearing the perfect outfit," or like, "Wow, you fit right in here," like, and you stand out as well, like in a good way. And that's a part of what makes it fun. So, like, if I'm going golfing, if I know that I'm going to a nice golf course, yes, I am going to get myself a cute little skirt and a cute little golfing hat thing and a cute little backpack, or what's it called? Is it a caddy? I don't know what it's called. Wait, no, the little bag where you carry the golf clubs or something, or I don't know, just like accessories. I'm going to get something cute that is going to make me stand out in a positive way, but then I also look like I belong there. It looks like, hey, I come here all the time. So one of the things I've been into is like playing tennis and pickleball. So I'm actually bad at both of them, but I have some cute ass tennis skirts, okay? I have some super cute little outfits that I like to wear. So even though I am technically bad at the actual sport, I look like freaking Naomi Osaka, okay? But no, that's one of the ways that you can kind of enhance your social climbing journey, though. It is to study where you want to be, to start thinking about that stuff, and to start planning that stuff out. So, what kind of social life would you like to have? What does your dream social life look like? Does it look like going on vacations every summer to Mexico and going horseback riding? Does it look like going to Hawaii and surfing? Does it look like going skiing? Going to Aspen or something like that? Because one of my social climbing goals is I want to be able to go on vacation to like the Hamptons or, like somewhere where it's known for like only rich people go there, kind of. I've always wanted to do that, like Turks and Caicos, or like, I don't know, kind of more exotic locations, or like the vacations where it's not like Vegas. By the way, I love Vegas. Vegas is actually like my favorite it's one of my favorite vacation spots in the US, but I don't want to like only go to Vegas and Miami and Atlanta and Houston and that's it. No. If I'm going on my vacations, one of my social climbing goals is I want to be able to go to places where people in the US have never even heard of it, or like they don't even know where it is. I want to be able to go to, I don't know, like more fancy places. So that's what I mean when I say social climbing, and kind of thinking about where you want to be socially, thinking about what types of places you want to go to. Side note, so I went to Mexico not that long ago, and I happened to go to this one resort. And it was so cool seeing how many exoticals were there. I was like, oh my gosh, we are really leveling up. Like, all these girls look like they could be my sisters. I love this. Love this for us. So that was really cool, like being in a luxury place and seeing so many other women who looked like me. For some of you guys, maybe this matters in terms of like dating or something. Maybe you only want to socialize where the people are more wealthy and stuff like that. You guys know me, of course. Always do this from a decentered perspective. I don't care if you're dating, married, engaged, or whatever. So make sure you're still doing it because you actually want to do it, whatever the activity is. But that's another thing to think about too. What types of dates do you want to be taken on? Do you want to be taken to McDonald's, or do you want to be taken to a five-star restaurant? Do you want to be taken to a rooftop, some sort of rooftop bar thing, or like that's something that you can start thinking about. Do you want to be taken to an opera? Do you want to go on vacations? Do you want to, even like for your career, Do you want to socialize at like professional networking events? Because I've done that. That was one of my social climbing goals in my 20s, was to go to conventions where they have thousands of people who are working in my field, and I can exchange like business cards with people. I used to like follow up with people via email, and that's actually how I got multiple jobs. I got multiple jobs in my field by doing things like that. So that's another thing that you may want to think about in terms of your social life. And then also, in terms of friendships, what types of girls do you want to socialize with? What types of friends do you want? Do you want friends who are pretty? I know that for me, my friendship type is I want friends that are pretty girls that are into fitness, like very into fitness. Like my closest friends, they're very into fitness stuff, whether it's running or just all kinds of stuff. I want friends that are into that because then they're going to push me. And also, I actually prefer if I have friends who are also better than me at certain things because then I can learn from them. So, like I said, with two of my friends, they're very good at fitness stuff. One of them is super good at like weightlifting. I'm very bad at that. So she's good at that. Another one is really good at like endurance training and stuff. She's also an expert. She's damn near an expert on like hair care stuff. So I like that. That's one of my social climbing goals. So that's something else you might want to think about. Do you want friends of a particular ethnicity because maybe it will help you feel more connected to that culture? Because there was a time in my life where I specifically wanted friends who spoke Spanish so that I could practice with them. And then, like, if I mess up, they can correct me. So that's another aspect that you want to think about as one of the pretty girls, you want to think about that too. Like, okay, is there a particular culture that I want to interact with more? Is there a particular culture that I tend to stereotype the most? Because if so, that's probably a sign that maybe I haven't interacted in that culture very much. So maybe I want to try going to some Arab restaurants or something, or hanging out in that part of town, or getting to know people from the Indian community, or going to shop in those areas and kind of opening my mind a little more. All of that, that's all a part of social climbing. Because what's the point of having all this money, having all this education, having all this pretty privilege, and then you have nowhere to go? Then you just sit in your apartment for the rest of your life. No, I want to socialize. I want to go out and enjoy my life. I want to enjoy the money that I have. I want to use my education to educate others. That's something else you would want to think about in terms of your social climbing journey. Who do you want to help? Is there any group of people where you want to reach back and help them? I know that's true for me, hence the Exoticals United YouTube channel. I want to help other women who look like me. That's one of my social climbing goals. It helps me, like it makes me feel good to know that I'm actually helping my collective, I'm helping my collective pretty privilege, or the pretty privilege of all the women who look like me, or I am helping represent my people, or I'm making a YouTube channel that is going to represent my community. It's going to represent the exotical community, the women who identify with both their blackness as well as their ambiguity. So I like doing that. And that's something else you might want to think about. Like, do you want to help children? Do you really like animals? Have you ever wanted to open an animal shelter or something? Have you ever wanted to like foster animals? I think you can do foster care like for dogs and stuff. Like you can just have a dog stay with you for a couple of days or something. So, is there any community that you've always wanted to get involved in? Maybe you've wanted to help them. This could be a church for those of you who are religious or spiritual. Maybe you want to help out at the church or the mosque or the temple. Um, that could be a thing. For those of you who are into different types of spirituality, maybe you want to do readings for people, whether it's tarot readings or psychic or whatever you're into. That is another aspect of social climbing that you can think about. What type of social life do I want? Who do I want to socialize with? Is there any particular group of people that I want to help? Or, is there a group of people where I want to help build their collective image? Another thing that you want to think about is the type of lifestyle that you're going to have. What type of lifestyle do you want to live? Do you want friends who will go running with you? Do you want friends who will do yoga classes with you? Do you want a group of girls to go to brunch with? Like what type of socializing do you want to do? What type of socializing do you like doing? And by the way, some of the social climbing tips I've used to like make friends and stuff, I have used Bumble BFF before. I have joined Facebook groups before. I've joined different Discords and stuff before, or like, those little group chats. Like, remember the Group Me app? I know it's like for old people, but um, I've done stuff like that. And that's something else you want to think about too. Like, how do you want to socialize? Do you want to join my Patreon and join the Discord and make friends in there and like meet up in person? Because for some people, that's how they meet their friends. Like, maybe there's a certain course or a class that you want to do. Like, when you go to your yoga class at the gym, do you want to make friends in that yoga class and then maybe you guys can do another class together at another time? Do you want to go to spin classes? What type of social life do you want to have? Whenever you think about your higher self or kind of the dream version of yourself, what type of life does she have? If your life was perfect tomorrow, what would it look like? How would it be different from today? Would you be doing spin classes? I know that's something I would be doing. I don't know why I associate spin class with like being wealthy and having a soft life. Yes, I would be doing like spin classes. They have spin class at my gym. So that's another thing. Before you join a gym, maybe you want to look and see like, hey, what kind of classes do they have here? What time do they have the classes? What hours is this gym open? Does it align with my, with the hours that I go to work and stuff? How far is this gym? Is it walkable or do I have to drive there? Those are things that you want to think about because that is going to shape how your social life turns out. Because one thing I've noticed is that a lot of people who complain about not having privilege, it's not about the privilege in and of itself. It's about the type of lifestyle that privilege gives them access to. Or maybe you want to completely start over from scratch. Maybe you have some fake ass friends and you want to cut those bitches off so that you can make room for some new friends. Maybe you want to get rid of toxic family members, like you don't want to hang out with them anymore. Maybe you want to get to know the other side of the family that you didn't get to know when you were younger. So maybe you want to like add them on Facebook or add them on Instagram or something and message them. For some of you guys, that might be a part of your social climbing goals. Another thing that I love to do is learning a second language. I believe that every pretty girl should be practicing a different language or learning a different language. Extra points if your second language is a part of your actual background. So, that I feel like that's a great way to social climb because speaking a second language, it shows off your intelligence, it shows off your knowledge, and also you are able to access that culture more easily, especially if you are speaking in that language to somebody else who is a native speaker. So that's another social climbing strategy that you can use. Something else I like to do when it comes to fitness classes is I love when the fitness class is connected to a particular culture. So, for example, I've done like a Bollywood dance class. Obviously, that's connected to the Indian culture. I'm not Indian whatsoever, but I had fun doing that and learning more about that culture. And now, if I encounter someone who is from that culture and they know about that, then I get to talk about that. I've also done salsa classes before just for fun. Obviously, that actually is a part of my background. So once again, that will help me when it comes to social settings because if I'm ever actually, it's so funny because I did actually end up using some of those moves from the salsa class because I was at this other group. It was like this nonprofit thing. They had like this gala, and me and my friends went to the little dinner thing, and they happened to play salsa music. I know it sounds so random. Like, why would they play salsa dancing music at this random white gala? Like, were they trying to be cool and like fit in with everyone? I don't know. Probably. They were probably trying to play like diverse music because they played hip hop. They played everything. But anyway, when they were playing the salsa music, I started like dancing and stuff. So me and my friends, we had all done like these little classes just for fun. We love doing uh, fun little outdoorsy cultural classes and cultural events. That's a huge social climbing tactic that I like to use because I told you guys one of my goals is I really want to be cultured. I care a lot about being as multicultural as possible. And this doesn't even just include cultures from my actual background. So, like I said, the Bollywood thing, just doing stuff where it has nothing to do with me in particular, but I just like learning about it because why not? I've gone to like Jewish cultural events too. But anyway, when I ended up doing my little salsa moves, then my friends were like, oh my gosh, like that was so fun. Basically, it was more fun. And like we were all more sociable than normal because we were familiar with that cultural dance style, and obviously because we were some of the only people with rhythm. But that's really fun. Like that was a really fun memory that I have. Not to mention the fact that dancing is a really fun way to get in shape. So just saying. And also, whenever I'm social climbing, I try to always do it from an authentic place. I don't want to be like this try hard person. You know what I mean? I try to be very like natural and just like I'm chilling and I'm like interacting with people. I'm being nice. I'm bringing good vibes. I treat everyone with respect, whether you are a janitor or a CEO. That is something that I've always used. Like when it comes to social climbing, I try to always be nice to everybody and I don't feel a need to socially compete because if I'm like sweet and I'm just myself and I'm just fun and silly and goofy, I'm naturally going to like kind of rise to the top anyway or kind of like get positive attention anyway. So that's the way that I see it. But another thing that I like to do is I like to read books on creativity or just listening to audiobooks in general. I like listening to psychology audiobooks on creativity, books about like femininity, social climbing, and stuff like that. For more info on that, definitely join the Patreon because we've got a Discord in there. We've got a whole entire Pretty Girl book club. But that has really helped me with my social climbing journey because I'm constantly learning. A lot of people say, how do you have so many ideas for YouTube? Oh my God, you're so articulate. Well, it's because I just read a lot. I listen to a lot of other smart people, so it kind of makes me feel like I'm learning something at all times. What are your social climbing goals? How are you going to improve your social life? And what do you ladies think? Let me know in the comment section, and I'll talk to you next time. Stay pretty, ladies.